Machiavelli stressed the value of decisiveness, yet equally the need for preparation. A strategist is often forced to decide under uncertainty, just as Nassim Taleb observes. So, how do we prepare for opportunity when knowledge is incomplete? That is where ensemble learning strengthens our approach, by combining the performance of multiple algorithms. We'll focus on the three main strategies: bagging, boosting, and stacking. Each reveals not only how machines learn, but also how leaders refine judgment, manage risk, and consolidate power. Bagging, boldness with preparation. Bagging splits training data into subsets, trains models independently, and combines their results through majority voting for classification or averaging for regression. Machiavelli said fortune favors the bold, but bagging shows us the line between boldness and recklessness. Boldness is not about gambling, but about ensuring multiple fronts are prepared before seizing the decisive moment. Key parameters in bagging illuminate this mindset. N estimators, the number of base learners. Strategists consider many dimensions: timing, context, resources, allies. Preparedness is never one-dimensional. Max samples, the number of experiences shaping intuition. From Sun Tzu to Robert Greene, masters remind us that when we strike matters more than how. Bootstrap, whether we sample with replacement, reminding us to preserve ourselves through discretion. As Robert Greene says, conceal the scope of your plans until execution. Base estimator, the weak learner corrected by a meta-learner. This is Robert Greene's lesson of delayed gratification. Do not claim victory too soon, because most people lose patience before success is secured. N-jobs, parallel computation, an echo of Robert Greene's wisdom to think in systems, where one action affects many parts of the plan. Bagging, then, reflects preparation across layers, testing multiple strategies, concealing intentions, and striking only when several fronts align. Boosting, building through refinement. Boosting trains models sequentially, each correcting the errors of the last. In life, it mirrors the shift from Machiavelli's observation that appearances of virtue matter, to his deeper recognition that true merit-based power is more durable than fortune. Boosting embodies a long-term discipline. Each iteration refines performance, moving us from fake-it-till-you-make-it appearances toward a genuine ethos. And as Robert Greene warns, our most dangerous enemy is not rivals, but our own ego. That's another aspect we should correct through each model. Core parameters illustrate this philosophy. N estimators, the number of weak learners correcting one another. For Sun Tzu, the best general wins with minimal loss, each step reducing wasted effort, each iteration sharpening returns. Learning rate, the size of each correction. It embodies Sun Tzu's principle of effortless victory, where challenges appear lighter as refinement compounds. Base estimator, the first project or vision that makes us relevant. As Machiavelli said, victory itself brings legitimacy. Max depth, min samples split, complexity controls. For Machiavelli, a reputation for strength deters enemies, but Robert Greene reminds us that sometimes retreat strengthens position more than attack. Complexity teaches us when to advance and when to step back. Subsample, what portion of data we focus on. For example, an innovator's status isn't always enough to acquire a competitive advantage if we disregard our target audience. As Robert Greene puts it, make others dependent on you. Loss, the loss function to minimize. In human terms, it is about controlling perception, because as Machiavelli taught, perception often outweighs fact. Boosting is not just improvement, it is the art of continuously transforming appearance into reality, while defending against overconfidence. Stacking, managing stakeholders. Stacking, or stacked generalization, trains different models and then uses their predictions as inputs for a final meta-learner. K-fold cross-validation ensures each base model is tested before contributing. In strategy, stacking represents stakeholder management, aligning diverse interests under one coordinated vision. Parameters carry clear parallels. Base learners, the different models, just as stakeholders differ in influence and interest. A stakeholder matrix reminds us Some must be managed closely, others kept satisfied, others simply monitored. Machiavelli advised treating nobility and commoners differently. The same applies here. Meta-learner, the final model synthesizing outputs. Robert Greene's principle of small victories applies. By securing incremental wins, we create loyalty and long-term alliances. In practice, the same quality standards that win consumer trust also retain employees and cement supplier relationships. Cross-validation. Not all contexts require the same approach. Sun Tzu warned that discipline cannot be imposed without loyalty. Likewise, validation ensures strategies adapt across settings. Pass-through. Whether to include original features alongside predictions. This is about accountability. Did we truly meet our own standards? Nassim Nicholas Taleb reminds us, you only fail when you start blaming others. Stacking is leadership as synthesis. Different forces aligned, tested, and held together under a higher standard of accountability. Ensemble learning is more than a technical method. It is a philosophy of preparation, refinement, and synthesis. Bagging shows us the power of parallel preparation, distinguishing boldness from recklessness. Boosting embodies the discipline of continuous refinement, turning appearances into reality while guarding against ego. Stacking reflects responsible leadership, harmonizing multiple stakeholders through accountability and vision. In strategy, as in machine learning, no single model has all the answers. Strength comes from integration, testing, combining, and refining until we achieve both resilience and clarity.